You guys, it's the day we've all been waiting for. It is time to start making our very first dragon eye. Woo woo! It's going to be amazing. Here we go. You guys already know the beginning drill. You are going to simply go into your art folder, new, more, Google Drawing. We are going to do this. Now this is going to be your first one that's actually graded. Now that doesn't mean we're turning it in today. No. It's going to go into our art journal. We're going to make a second one. That's going in the art journal. We're going to answer some questions. It's not due yet for another, what, four days, because it's due on day 10. But for now, we're getting it started. So go ahead and label it with your name. And then after that should be Dragon Eye 1. Okay? Now, a few classes ago, I told you guys to start looking for a cool dragon eye. So hopefully you've done that. Or something that you want it to be, right? Maybe it's a lizard. Maybe it's Baby Yoda. Who knows what you found? This is what I found, though. I thought it was really cool. I love the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that image. It's not going to be that I'm making this image exactly. This is the image I'm using as what's called a template. Okay, so it's not going to be an exact image of it. It's going to be like a replica that we tweak and make our own. So here we go. Well, that's kind of tiny. Let's make it bigger. Make it fit the page a little bit better. There we go. Now I could also make it bigger this way, but look what happens. Kind of makes it changes the shape of the eye, right? So you can do that if you want to. In fact, I kind of think I want somewhere in between those two. I don't want it quite that tall. I want it kind of in between where it was and where it went. So something like that. Now you're noticing there's a little bit of white space at the top and the bottom of my Google Drawing. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. That's okay, because I can fill that in with scales later. Now, pro tip, I learned this from actually a student's family. If you have issues as you're working in Google Drawing where your template keeps wiggling around on you and that's kind of frustrating, there is no way to lock it, but there is a different option that kind of works just as well. All I did was I came into my shapes and I grabbed a rectangle. I am now going to make this rectangle as big as I can. Do you see that? It's like the whole thing, the whole screen basically. So there we go. Oh, why didn't it do it? That was weird. Let's try that again. Nice and big. There we go. Now it did. And I am going to go ahead and make it transparent so that I can see my eye through it. But the cool thing is now, if something happens, my dragon eye is staying in place. I'm moving this, but you're going to see in just a moment why if I'm moving this clear one, it doesn't really matter. As long as my dragon eye is in place, we're good. The next thing you're going to want to know for this is how to zoom in real close, because we're going to be doing a lot of that to get some detail. So up above my head on this big old toolbar, you're going to see the word fit. It's by a zoom. Okay, so I'm actually going to bring it all the way to 200, you guys. Bring it in real close, right? So using all the tools that we've learned the last 5 class periods, so we're using our shapes, we're using our lines, we're using our solid fill and our color gradients and our drop shadow and our reflection and maybe even our dotted lines and our line thicknesses, all of those things that we've been learning. Well, there's been a purpose for that, and this is the purpose, okay? So here we go. I'm going to start with the thing in the eye itself that would be like the closest forward, the like furthest layer out, I guess you could say. So like looking at the eye, we've got the eye itself, that white part. Then we've got the iris, which would be this kind of orangish one here. Then the pupil, which is the black part. And then we've got the highlight. You can see it in my eye right there. That's kind of creepy looking, huh? And then my dragon, it's right here. I don't really like the shape of the highlight here, so I'm going to change it for mine, because once again, this is inspiration. This is not necessarily like how it's going to look exactly, but I'm going to use it as inspiration. So the highlight is going to be the thing I work on first. I'm going to use a shape, and I think I want to look for a circle. I'm going to do a circle here. And let's fill that in. I'm going to make it white. And I don't want the line around it. I'm going to go transparent there. So that's going to look like a little highlight there. And I'm going to actually grab my circle again and make this one more like maybe a little bit more oval-esque. Something kind of like that. Click outside, and yeah, I like how that looks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, and this is why if we've got that clear thing in front, this is why it doesn't really matter that that's there. It's like helpful that it doesn't wiggle our image around, but it's not going to like harm the final product, because what we're going to do as we get all these shapes, I'm going to combine these two together. So I'm just hitting Shift and clicking both of them. If you want to, you can even go ahead and group them together if you want to. But now I'm going to send them to the back. Okay? I'm sending them all the way to the back. So order, send to back. Now they're gone from where I'm looking, but really they're just hiding, right? They're behind this whole big picture. Next, closest to the front would be the pupil, right? That's our next layer. So once again, I'm just going to use a circle for this. That'll be pretty easy. It's kind of like a oval-ish shape here. Something like that, and bring that down. And of course I'm going to make it black. Cool. Okay, that was easy. We'll send that to the back. Order, send to back. Okay, the next part is going to be the iris, the colorful part. So now I'm noticing with this, I'm not going to be able to get away with just a shape. I am going to have to use one of my lines instead. Click out here. And I'm going to show you guys another one. So we did polyline before. I'm going to now show you the curve one. It's basically the same thing as polyline, only instead of when you make that click to turn, it's going to curve it out a little bit, give it more of a rounded edge, which I think will look nice for this iris here. Alright, we're going to keep on going. Just clicking every time I know that I want to make a bit of a turn. We're getting there. This I can shoot a little bit faster because those are more straight. And then once I'm here, you can see how it kind of snaps together. And now it makes my shape. Now I'm going to want to change that eye color so that it, looks the way I want it to. In fact, if you're really like, I want it to look very similar, feel free to pull it off to the side for right now. And that way you can kind of compare and contrast what it looks like to what you're going for. If that, if in fact that is what you're trying to do, is get something just like what you see there. I'm going to do a nice bright orange. Oh, that's not exactly what I want. Let's go gradient, and we'll customize it from here. I think that'll be easier. Okay, I'm going to go something like that, but I want that actually on, I guess I'm going to add a step. I want that bright orangish color more like here. I want it to end with black. If you guys notice, it's got like quite the black towards the outer edge. Oh, but I'm also realizing I have it at linear. Let's switch that. We're going to change that to radial and center. Good. Okay, I'm going to bring that in a little bit more. I'm going to add another stop in here. Let's see, I'm going to bring it over there, and now I want to make it even more orange. Maybe let's try that. See how that looks? Okay, and I'm going to go with another stop here. Actually, I'm going to change this to yellow right away, right in the center. Actually, that might already be good. Let's try it. I'm going to try it and see how that looks. Oh, that's pretty cool. And actually, for this, because you do see that rim around the eye, I do want my border to be there, but I actually want it to be thicker. So I'm going to do something kind of like that. Looks pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to put it back into place. And I'm going to send it to the back. All right, we're going to continue doing that. Do it with like the eye itself, like the white part. I would use either line tool again, probably for mine. And you can also, if you want to start on the scales today, you're kind of itching to move to the next step. A lot of times shapes work really well for this. So once again, just kind of play around with it and manipulate it as you like. you know, change those colors, all that kind of stuff. I'll show you more detail on that next time. I really want you, for today, our big goal is going to be to get the eye done. And I do just want to show you something. I'm going to actually delete this scale for right now. What I want to show you, I'm going to zoom back out. Let's go fit. I'm going to move that clear sheet out of the way. Oops, it didn't quite do. There we go. And then I'm going to move my picture out of the way. And you can see, look what's happening. Right? Like it's happening behind the scenes. As you keep moving everything to the back, it's basically building your picture behind your picture, if that makes sense. So once again, if you want to start on the scales today, actually let's just go like this, that way I'll make sure that's all in the right place. Feel free to do so. You know, and don't forget too, we learned this a few classes ago. I'm just going to actually make this like bright green right now just so you can see it. Don't forget that you can do that Control D trick. Maybe you do where you make a whole bunch of them, kind of vary the sizes and stuff, right? We don't want them all looking exactly the same. But then once you've got a few of them that you like, you can hold the Shift button down and group them all together. Do you see how all 4 of those are grouped? And hit Control D and look at, like once you get going, this can go really fast because you're going to be able to make a whole bunch. And even here now, I could shift and merge all 8 of these together and go Control D. And like once we get going on the scales, you can go pretty quick, right? So have fun with that. Realize there is going to be more information coming next time. Play as much as you like, but for today, we definitely want to get the eye itself done. And if you want to start playing with the scales too, go right ahead. We'll see you next time.